Oh, good morning, beloved community. Isn't it a beautiful morning? What an exciting day we have coming up for our service. So, let's all just take a breath together. And coming into the presence of the one who sent us, we all om together 3 times. Joining hands to sing, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place."
Welcome. As we begin this morning, I invite you into an attitude of prayer. I invite you to close your outer eyes if that's comfortable, and open your mind and heart to the presence of divine love. As we open ourselves to God, we feel the infinite connection to the source of all things, the source of infinite possibilities. We are grateful for all the goodness, all the blessings in our lives. We are grateful for our spiritual community and the opportunity for us to come together this morning in person and on Zoom or Facebook. So today and every day, we celebrate our divine essence and we say, "Thank you, God." And so it is.
So it is. All right, so let's open up to the Spirit.
Promises I
Kristen Sherry.
Cherry. Yeah, thank you. Oh, that was so wonderful. Thank you. I'm so grateful to the amazing music team here. It's just so beautiful. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Namaste, friends. I stand in the presence. Hello and welcome to the November 9th service here at Unity on the River. My name is Reverend Dr. Kristen Cherry, and it is my pleasure to travel here from Missouri to be a ministerial candidate for your beautiful, wonderful, amazing spiritual community. So it is truly a blessing. So first, let's set our intention as a congregation, please. We are an inclusive spiritual community that honors all paths to God. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Now together, we will now say our mission and vision statements. Please say these with me. Our mission together: we are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. Our vision together: centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Our vision for a new spiritual leader, we'll read together. The spiritual leader of Unity on the River is a heart-centered, inspired teacher and mentor who lovingly embodies the highest and most joyful vision for Unity on the River and the world. Now, let us intentionally repeat together the 5 unity principles that are the foundation of the Unity worldwide movement. Number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Number 2, the Christ Spirit is in each of us. Number 3, we create our life experiences with our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Number 4, prayer is our connection with divine mind. And number 5, if it is not enough to know the truth, we must live it. I would like to now take a moment to extend a special welcome to anybody that is joining us online. Hello and welcome, and also future people that are watching in the future. Thank you for choosing us and to bless us with your virtual presence. We affirm that you are cozy wherever you are streaming from. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to anyone who is here in service in this service with us for the first time. We are so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here for the first time and you'd like to receive the weekly newsletter, you can fill out a welcome card, which are attached to the front of the new member welcome pack that you received when you were welcomed by the greeter at the door. If we missed connecting with you at that front door on your way in, please let us know as you're leaving, and we will make sure that you receive one of those packets. Or if you're comfortable raising your hand right now, we're happy to bring one to you. Feel free to do that. Okay. If you're streaming on one of our live platforms and would like to receive our weekly newsletter and other special announcements, please type your email address in the chat box if you're comfortable. Or simply visit our website and fill out the online form. Our website is unityontheriver.org. I now would like to invite Unity on the River's very own Reverend Denise D. Simone up to the microphone to make some announcements to lead us into Namaste.
You said that like a true Italian.
Get it right? Awesome.
It's Simone, she said it like a true Italiana. We love you already. I love you already. I stand in the presence. So this week, we are so grateful and excited to have ministerial candidate, Reverend Doctor. I'm just going to call you Rev Doc.
It is.
It's on. I have to kiss it. All right, I'll do that. I was going to say, I'm just going to call you Rev Doc. That's okay. Rev Doc. As our guest celebrant, yesterday Dr. Terry offered a transformative workshop that was fabulous, and it invited all of us to explore the sacred power of perspective and apply the unity model for interpreting life's challenges. Her talk today will be of a similar theme and will also focus on the power of perspective, acknowledging the fallacy of failure. And I couldn't make the workshop, but somehow yesterday I thought, Spirit tapped me and said, you're going to meet her today. I said, no, I don't have any plans to do that. Well, my friends and I were in a restaurant in Newburyport, and she and Michael walked in last night. So it was meant to be. So after today's service, starting at around 11:30, there's going to be a Q&A session with Dr. Rev. And this will be a live streamed event, and it's going to be accessible through the YouTube and Facebook links that we always use. And it's important that our community gets to ask the questions that are important. And if anyone has any statements or concerns that are not a direct and clear question, we ask that you wait until you have an opportunity, which you will at the end of the Q&A, for you to ask or add anything that you wish. And we're going to do a meet and greet after that down in hospitality. And we also ask that it is a time where everyone's excited and we want time with her, and just be mindful, that's all, that there are a lot of us here, and, you know, don't monopolize. Just be mindful of how much time you are with her. Moving on to Renee Schneider, she's going to be hosting a Create a Wreath event. Is she here? Is she? Not yet. It'll be held on Monday evening, November 10th, at her art studio, and it's in studio in Amesbury. It's on 12 Oakland Street on the 3rd floor. Mark, do you know what time it's at? 6:30. Thank you, Michelle. And all wreaths will be sold or auctioned off to raise funds for Unity on the River. So just contact Renee if you want to attend. It sounds like it would be really fun. And Meg and John are doing their group, the Temple Monkeys, are putting on a kirtan, and that's on Tuesday, November 11th from 7 to 8:30, and it's at the People's United Church. That's on Purchase Street in downtown Newburyport, a little outside downtown. Tickets are $15, and you can talk to Meg or John if you'd like to get more details. And it's time again for our Thanksgiving Day celebration and get-together. It's the annual potluck at the Denison Camp, Denison, again in Georgetown. And this year it's going to be Monday, November 24th, 6:30 to 9, and more details will follow next week. So please reach out to Barbara. Is she here, Stan? No? Barbara's not here today? Okay. Barbara Wiancek, and her email is up, I believe. This is telling me it's behind me on the slide. Okay, great. Everything's working great. So you can reach out to her, and we're going to make it a great, fun, successful evening, just like it's always been. We've been doing this a long time. All right, so who would love to be a Sunday morning superhero? Anybody want to be a Sunday morning superhero? Careful what you say. I know. This group is too smart. So, with Jim McQuaid, our beloved Jim McQuaid, yes, stepping down as our hospitality coordinator at the end of the year. Jim, how long have you been doing this? 3 years. 3 years. Well, and you've been around for couple decades, right? Doing everything. He's like the chief volunteer person. So Jim is stepping down, so we need a person to step up for hospitality. And also we need 2 volunteers which would take a position on the fourth Sunday of the month. And I just want to take a minute to thank all of our volunteers. We have so many people, you know, it does take a village. And I just like to thank them for what they do every week. You know, Mahatma Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Volunteering is, to me, the ultimate exercise in humanity. And I just want to take a moment and close your eyes if you're comfortable, and just put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath and let it out. And just ask, does this resonate with me? And if you get even a moment that it might be leaning in the direction of a yes, then just take a step and reach out to Christian and just have a conversation. Doesn't mean you're signing up. Just follow your heart and have a conversation, because we need the right person. All right. My best friend Marcia could tell in my eyes the other day when I was telling her about it that I was thinking about it, and she looked at me and said, no. No, you're not. But the right person will step up, I know that. Now let's express our gratitude for the Board of Trustees for the work they do and the guidance they provide. If you happen to be a board member and you're here, could you please stand to be recognized? Thank you. Thank you so much. And now it's time for Namaste, the time when we greet each other, ask if a handshake or a hug is okay, and whichever you're most comfortable with, let the divine essence follow you. Have fun. Hug it out.
This is a song about kintsugi. If you don't know what that is, you will by the end of the song. Make sure. I'm like one of those Japanese bowls that were made long ago. have some cracks in me. They have been filled with gold. That's what they used back then, when they had a bow to bend. It did not hide the cracks, it made them shine instead. So now every old scar shows from every time I broke, and anyone's eyes can see I'm not what I used to be. But in a collector's mind, all of these jagged lines make me more beautiful and worth a higher price. I'm like one of those Japanese bowls I was made long ago. I have some cracks in me, see how they shine of gold.
Beautiful, Brian. Really gorgeous. It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce this fabulous soul. Reverend Dr. Kristen Cherry's passion for social justice began while obtaining a double major in communication and sociology from Millikan University and spending time in the Herbalife Center in Chicago. She received a master's in sociology and her PhD in communication, both from the University of Missouri. Dr. Cherry is a full tenured professor at Central Methodist University, where she has been teaching for 18 years in the Department of Communication. In 2025, Kristen graduated from the Unity Urban Ministerial School with an advanced certification in metaphysics, and was ordained in Unity Ministerial School, Unity Ministerial School, with an advanced certification not only in metaphysics, but the Compassion Consortium ordained Dr. Cherry as an animal chaplain. I love that. Volunteering is important to her in many capacities, including prisons, homeless shelters, urban youth centers, food pantries. Her passion to promote community peace and well-being by lobbying with lawmakers. Dr. Cherry currently attends Unity of Columbia. And I will tell you on a personal note, if you want to get inspired and educated, go to YouTube and watch her talk about the Pentecost from this past June. It's fabulous. And she serves as a prayer chaplain and aids the youth and family ministry. She also regularly gives sermons at several local churches. Dr. Reverend Cherry's passion for New Thought Christianity is the driving force for her talks and volunteer work, and please give her a big, huge, warm welcome.
Good morning. It is my absolute pleasure to be here on the East Coast. As some of you may know, my path here is quite unique. So I'm going to start by kind of sharing that with you. If I had met you back in June, I would have been telling you that I was a thru hiker on the Appalachian Trail. I had my pack. It was 33 pounds. I got it down to 30 pounds on the best day. And I was full force going through, headed down. I started up in Maine and I was headed down to Georgia. Well, plans don't always work out the way that we anticipate, because I want to, so let's go to the slide here. Go to the next slide. Here's my first day. Look how happy I was. Here's like me in Maine. You know, it's good. Everything's going well. Getting going up there. So I was having a great experience. But unfortunately, while I was up there, I've never heard of this thing. There's this heat dome that came over the East Coast, and it was 106 degrees in the 100-mile wilderness. And we're in full gear. We've got head nets on, we've got gloves on. I mean, we are like fully decked out. So I ended up overheating and becoming dehydrated. So I ended up having to find my way out by myself to a logging road and find a way to town. That's a whole nother story for another day. But I went to a friend's house and I ended up recovering, and I said, I've been training for this for like 6 months. Been reading. I'm not going to give up. I'm doing it. I'm going back. The people at the emergency room said, don't do it. Don't do it. Once you've had a heat-related illness, right, you're bound to have another one. I said, I've done this way. I'm ready. So I get back on the trail and I'm happy and I'm going along, and sure enough, it happened again. I get to a shelter that I was planning to stay at for the evening. Now I was in Vermont at this time. And unfortunately, the shelter, there's always supposed to be a water source at every shelter. It was dried up. I had about this much water left, and I thought, I don't want to risk that. So it was about 6 more miles to get to the next possible place to stay with water and all of that. So even though my body was saying, don't do it, I decided to push on. So I pushed on, and I ended up coming into Vermont. And when I came into one of the towns, this is what I now looked like in the next picture. This was my last day on the trail. I didn't realize at the time, but that was the last picture I took of myself. A little bit after that, I ended up collapsing on the side of the road. But it all was well, because I found my way to a place where there was a nice spring-fed kind of campsite where I could camp out. It was really hot, so I didn't put my rain fly on. I was looking up at the stars. I had no cell phone signal, and I just said, God, what? Just help me. Just direct me. I'm open for anything. Just tell me, direct me, and tell me what to do. And in my mind, all I heard was, it's time to lead the people. And I thought, what people? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm in the middle of nowhere by myself. There's no people around here, right? So, and I had no cell phone reception, so I couldn't look up what people. So I ended up calling a friend of mine who had an animal sanctuary up in New Hampshire, and she came and picked me up, and I stayed and recovered there for the second time around. But nonetheless, I get on my Unity Worldwide Ministry website, because I was just ordained, to see what ministries were open. And sure enough, there was a ministry really close to where I was staying. And it was this one. So I thought, I wonder if that's something I should explore. So I said yes. And here I am, ready to explore this opportunity. So, as we mentioned, 2025 has been a great year for me. I was ordained as a Unity minister, as an animal chaplain, and I'm actually on sabbatical from my professorial duties, so I'm just kind of going with the flow until that sabbatical is over. So, I've been thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk to you about. And I wanted to pick something that was representative of me as a speaker. So I'm not the kind of person that is going to come here and talk to you and fluff you up. I'm not that fluffer, okay? I don't like those Unity light, I would call them, kind of topics. I'm here to dig deep. And thank you. So that's my personal style. That's what I want to do. I want to give lessons that make you think. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with me. I'm just asking you to be open to thinking about these concepts because we're all at a different spiritual place, okay? We never know what's going on in somebody else's life. So being open to innovative ideas and sometimes being uncomfortable, that's how spiritual growth occurs. And it takes work, and it's practice, and that's why it's called practice for a reason. So yes, I will remind you that you were born into spiritual goodness, not original sin, don't worry about that. But I'm also going to give you some ways to express your divinity here in your humanity, which is exactly why I wanted to select the topic of failure. If you kind of had a knee-jerk reaction when you saw that I was talking about that, perfect. You're in the right place because I am going to attempt to convince you today that failure is not real. It's not a thing, doesn't even exist. Because what I want to ask you, did I fail? Look at this picture. In my attempt, now it's not going to hurt my feelings, so I want a show of hands. Really will not hurt my feelings, I promise. Right now, if I said to you, this is what I did, and did I fail? If you think I failed, raise your hand. Yep. I gotta have one. Yeah, thank you. I had a goal, I didn't achieve it. Some people would say that's failure, right? Yeah. So we're going to reframe the way that we think about failure today. So first, we're going to talk about what failure is. Second, we're going to talk about the fallacy of failure. And third, how you can actually incorporate that into your life. So I like to incorporate a Bible verse into every sermon because this is a New Thought Christianity. So the Bible verse I'd like to select today comes from Proverbs 16, verses 1 through 3 and 9. And this is from the New International Version. To humans belong the plans of the heart, but from the Lord comes the proper answer of the tongue. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes the steps. So this indicates some kind of divine plan that's in place, some kind of divine order. Now, I'm in a book study right now, and we're reading a lot of Emily Cady. So I want to share a couple of Emily Cady quotes with you because she actually writes about the concept of failure. So what she says in her book, Lessons in Truth, kind of the most well-known book, she says that we need to view failures impersonally, meaning we don't take them personally, okay? So when we do that, we find sometimes that our failures are actually proving to be a success. Because too often we judge only by the initial appearance of the situation, rather than following what Jesus told us to do in John 7:24. Judge not according to appearances, but judge righteous judgment. So then Emily Cady, in her next book, she writes, it's in How I Use Truth, she talks about the cause of failure. And she says the cause of all these things, failure, poverty, illness, sickness, all these things, very unity, is not being aware of our divine origin. We've forgotten who we really are. That's the issue right there. So it's the idea that with this unawareness has come a feeling of being separated from God and all this good that is associated with that. Because when there's a belief in separation, that indicates a belief in two different powers, right? And we know with our unity principles that we only believe in one power and one presence. That's the good. So it's one thing to actually accept all this intellectually, to think about. But in the truth of our divine nature and our relationship to God, and it's quite another to actually know it and to experience it. You've got to actually live it out, the unity fifth principle. That's why that's so important. It all circles right back around. You've got to live the truth you know. Because until we've added feelings to our intellectual thinking, we do not know completely the truth. Because as we know, the truth shall make us free. John 8, verse 32. So we are then making the law or truth of Jesus' words part of our consciousness. I absolutely love Eric Butterworth. So what does he say about this? He tells us, and this is from the Essays on Abundant Living, he says the goal of life is to grow. And how better to grow than to grow through failure? Missing the mark is part of the process of learning to hit the target. One who is not prepared to cope with failure, to be uninhibited or afraid. He rarely attempts ventures where failure is a possibility, which cripples his creativity and imagination. And I know, I love that metaphor of the archery. My children I have kids that are in middle school, and we have an archery team. And it's so interesting because at first, when they start, no one hits the target. It takes practice to watch them to hit the mark or whatever you want to call it. So again, we're not good at these things at first. It takes practice and patience as we're growing through life. So if we look at what the revealing word says about failure, I love this. It says that seeming failure is often a stepping stone to something higher. So it's not an end, but it's actually a beginning. How beautiful is that? So I want to compare the word failure to the word sin, okay, for a second here. Because in Greek, the Greek roots of the word sin, it's hamarita. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's my best guess. And that is the word for sin in the New Testament. And when we go back to the actual Greek word and look at what that means, it means to miss the mark or to fail. That sounds very familiar. Again, that origin comes from that archery metaphor. Now we can look at the Hebrew roots. Perfect. Cha'ata is the main Hebrew word for sin in the Old Testament. When we go back to the actual Hebrew definition of that word, do you know what that means? It means to fail or to miss the goal. So historically, sin and failure have been synonymous. And in unity, we view sin in a different way than every other traditional Christianity. Sin is, instead of believing that we were born into original sin, we believe that we were born into original goodness. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have that burden that we were stuck with from birth. So we actually have this divine inheritance of prosperity. So if we wanted to simply define sin, it's what we talked about earlier. It's that error thought. It's when you forget you're divine, right? When you say something or you do something that's not very nice, and it wouldn't be appropriate, kind of wouldn't be what Jesus would do, we could say, right? That's when you're acting out of your humanity, rather, instead. So it could be any thought, word, or action that does not honor our divinity. So for example, when I quit that trail and I was laying in that tent, I was crying, I called myself a loser. I sat there and I thought, what a loser am I? I'm going to tear up if I start to talk about it, so I'm not. But I really was hard on myself. And then it hit me. That's an error thought. That is the silliest thing that I've ever thought. And I reframed it and I thought, I am a single woman out here in the woods by myself. I am brave. Thank you. And that's all it had to do. It changed my whole world. I changed my consciousness. I changed my whole world. I didn't fail at all. I did something that many people want to do and never have the guts to get out there and do it. Right? So it's like, oh my gosh, so now I feel invigorated instead of feeling bad and feeling terrible. So this kind of all came to me long ago. I used to play professional disc golf, frisbee golf, if you've ever heard of that. I was on the tour from 2004 to 2009. It was a fun experience, but I will tell you, I had some issues because when I turned from amateur to pro, it was like I forgot how to play. It all got in my head because I thought, oh my gosh, you're a professional now. You got to play like one. And it was like all of a sudden my body couldn't remember what to do. My thoughts were going all crazy. So I got this book. I absolutely love it. It's called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. And I read that book and it turned my life around. One of the things from that book, though, that I liked was that they said you should talk to yourself in your mind the same way you would talk to a small child. So what I was doing on that golf course, I would throw a bad shot, and then in my mind I would say something like, oh, you're so silly, why did you do that? That's a terrible thing. You need to be on the other side of the course. How are you ever going to get out of that? What's your next shot going to? And I would go into this panic mode in my mind. Would I ever say that to one of my children? Absolutely not. So why would I do that to myself? And ironically enough, when we talk about becoming like a child, Emily Cady tells us this, and Jesus tells us this. So this childlike way of treating ourselves is actually something common that we see throughout. So that's why religion is a practice. So now let's get into the metaphysics of it all. Okay, we got to go there. Here's why I think, and I think you should think, that failure is a fallacy, meaning a falsehood, meaning not true. And I got to go to Hasselbeck, because according to his heart-centered metaphysics, he explains there's two realms of consciousness, right? We have the absolute realm that's up here. It's perfect divine order. It's God. We have down here the human realm, which is the relative realm, which was the one that we exist in our human bodies, okay? So he explains about these two different realms, and he says that we actually need this relative realm here on earth in order to express our individuality and to express our spiritual gifts, because we all have different spiritual gifts. And that's exactly why he says we're here on earth. He says that it is to express our divinity. So by shifting our awareness from this relative realm down here to our divinity up here, I don't even know why I'm pointing up here. It's the old heaven version. I shouldn't do that. I should be pointing out here, right? Sorry about that. Call me out on that, right? We can change our thinking, and we can use our thoughts to manifest greater good, right? Think about your divinity. Think about these 12 powers. You can access these anytime you want. These are some of your tools. There's many more, but these are just a few of them, and they work when you work them. So absolutely, Eric Butterworth says it best right here. This explains the fallacy to me. In his book, In the Flow of Life, he says this: You cannot really make a wrong choice. You cannot make a bad decision. Any step you take will lead eventually to your good, because a negative experience encountered will produce the challenge in which you need to outgrow the kind of consciousness from which that choice was made, and lead you to a higher consciousness from which more constructive steps can be taken. So a wrong choice is actually the right choice at any particular time. It's perfect. You got to know this. You're free. That frees you. You don't have to worry about making a wrong choice. You just have to have that faith. You are free from the fear of bad decisions. You can stand still and believe that there is no decision to be made, only a direction to discover. I love that. I'm going to repeat that again. Those are Butterworth's words. There is no decision to be made, only a direction to discover. That's that adventure mindset. I love that. That's faith, no fear, faith. So failure is not even an option. It's a human, ego-derived concept created by our power structures here on earth. And Albert Hasselbeck tells us in Heart-Centered Metaphysics that our purpose in life is to realize, be, and express our divine potential, in which is our Christ. So now what? I've just told you all this stuff, and now I need you to incorporate it into your life. So we're going to move on to our next slide here, which is going to be how we're going to release this concept of failure. Now, I've come up with a way for you to remember this, and I'm going to use 3 P's to remember them. So let's hit the first one. We will see is presence. So let me explain about presence. Has anybody heard of Brother Lawrence? Yeah, he's pretty well known. He wrote Practicing the Presence of God. He was a 17th century French monk. And his story is just so funny to me, and I'm going to tell it kind of in my version. But he wanted to become a monk, and he showed up at the monastery. He said, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to do this. And they said, okay, go ahead and wash the dishes. They needed somebody to wash the dishes. And he said, no, I'm here to be enlightened. I'm not here to wash the dishes, I'm not the staff. I said, no, go wash the dishes. Next day, I'm ready to be enlightened. No, dishes. So every day for weeks on end, he washed these dishes, and he was angry. He didn't understand. Why are they making me wash these dishes? I came here to find something better, something glorious. And then all of a sudden it hit him. What a blessing it was to be washing those dishes. There was always food to be eaten. They always had enough. They had people there to prepare the food. They had clean dishes, thanks to him. They had plants that grew and animals that gave their lives for them to nourish their bodies. He began to feel the presence of these dishes. And then he became grateful to wash them. You know what I mean? What an honor it was to wash these dishes. And that's when they said, okay, you can stop washing the dishes. So he found the presence in what he was doing. You can find the presence in anything that you are doing. Anything. So many of you have probably heard of Mel Robbins' let them theory. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's not unity, but it's a good thing to think about because it basically tells you to let other people do them and you do you. You kind of stay in your own lane. It releases a whole lot of worrying. You don't have to worry about trying to worry about what other people are doing. I really will ask you to reclaim your energy. Please do not tell someone, you make me feel angry. Nobody can ever make you feel any way without your permission. No, you're in control of what's going on up here. So that's part of that let them theory, is taking back that power, that control. So that's the ultimate self-love, I think, is creating those safe boundaries. So let's go to the next P, which is prayer. It's unity. Unity was founded on prayer. So I would definitely want to bring in prayer. So when we think about prayer, I always think back to Emmett Fox. He wrote the book, The Sermon on the Mount, also the book called Life is Consciousness. And he has that famous saying that every thought is a prayer. There's even a song about it, I think. I like that. I like that a lot. But I want to expand on that. I found a quote that goes a little deeper. Ayala Van Zandt says, every thought you think is a prayer, every word you speak is a prayer, every act in which you engage is a prayer, because the Spirit of God is you. All of it, it's not just the thoughts, it's the words, it's the actions, it's the whole package. That's what spiritual integrity is. When your thoughts, your words, your actions, they're all in alignment. That's when you can become enlightened. That's when true bliss can occur. So you really got to think about, what are your thoughts? So for me, I want an example from the Appalachian Trail. When I was going up these mountains, it was interesting because it looked like they could have made the trail flat, but for some reason they wanted it to go up and down. I don't know. So nobody likes the uphill parts, and that was always the part where I wanted to quit. So I had a little mantra I had in my head, and my little mantra was, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And you know why the people have those mantras? We have them in the Army, we have them in the military, we had them in Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. Because when you are saying that mantra and thinking that thing, you cannot think another thought simultaneously. So you can't have an error thought enter your mind if you are continually using that mantra, right? So that's why you want to use those sorts of mantras, that affirmative prayer, those affirmative statements. So the other thing would be actions. We see these all the time, bowing, crossing our hands on Ash Wednesday. The students at my school, they put ashes on their forehead. Kneeling, dancing, singing, all of this is wonderful ways that we can celebrate. So let's go to number 3, and that is praise. We have got to be happy while we're doing all of these things. So reframe your thoughts. So for example, when I used to drive by a car accident, we would be like, oh my gosh, we got to see how many people were injured and how bad is it, and everybody's rubbernecking to look around and see what the damage is like. No, why would you want to see any of that stuff, right? Bless them. Bless them. Everyone can bless. It's not just something that a minister can do. You can bless as well. So go about your day blessing everything and everyone that you come into encounter with. It's important. Sing, dance, take a walk in nature. These are all ways that you can praise God. I just came back from Unity Village. I was there for Nehemiah Week. It's where several people are invited to go and you participate in a week of service. So I was on the painting crew, and I was lucky enough to paint some of the older buildings. It was pretty fun. I got the taller, higher up parts, unfortunately, but it was a good time. And one of the really neat things, they gave us a gift at the end, and it was so cool. They gave us the daily word from the day we were born, and all framed and everything. It was really cool. And we're all comparing, what did you get? What did you get? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, yours is so amazing. I can't believe what you got. I didn't know. I said, why is mine so amazing? And they said, because you have one of the most amazing unity prayers. It had a prayer in it. So I wanted to share this prayer with you. It is the Prayer of Faith by Hannah Moore Kohas, I believe. And I thought that was absolutely perfect for this. She says, God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way. Through every moment, of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth. That is me. God is my health. I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all. I know no fear. Since God and love and truth are here. And I said, yeah, I did get a good one. That is a good poem. So to conclude, I just wanted to tell you that failure is impossible. Faith is the answer. Faith over fear every time in every circumstance. Absolutely. When you know that faith is not a thing, it's a falsehood, it's a fallacy, whatever you want to call it, it's an impossibility, you realize that you are destined for this or something greater. So remember these 3 P's: presence, prayer, and praise. And I want you to trust the goodness of the unfolding, ever-present, perfect, divine order. So to close, I wanted to leave you with a quote here from Wayne Dyer. Everything is unfolding in divine order. Even what you don't yet understand. Trust the timing. Trust the detours. Nothing is random in a universe designed by love. And so it is, friends.
Now is the time in our service when we remove everything from our laps and come into some meditational energy. And Sherry will bring us in with a beautiful chant by Karen Drucker. I will be gentle with myself, as Kristen said, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child.
So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. If not, you can just relax your gaze. You're going to relax your body with each breath. Take a breath and feel yourself connecting to all around you, whether it's through your feet, through your back, wherever you can feel yourself grounding into the center of the earth. I want you to breathe in, and as you breathe in, you're going to say, God is. And as you breathe out, I want you to say, I am. God is. I am. God is, I am. Concentrate on the deep inner knowing that with God we are all one being, one mind, one world. We are one with those who have come before us and those who will come after. We can find great inspiration from others, such as Gandhi when he says, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all in harmony. Please take these words into a few moments of silence. As we move from the silence, we know that we are each a unique expression of the divine. We are invigorated with divine mind as we feel our connection with our Christ consciousness. We are surrounded by love, light, and goodness, available now and always in this earthly realm. With this, we are grateful for our growing spiritual awareness. We're grateful for our prosperity, and we recognize that we are living in spiritual abundance. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child.
Oh, and let's take a breath together, feeling that energy. I'd like to take a second to have us remember Sharon Courier. Dear Sharon made her transition over a week ago, and we just found out. So we send out our prayers to Art and his family. Sharon was an Art, we're longtime Unity congregants and offered a lot to us over the years, and Sharon's been ill for a long time. So We just know that it's a blessing. There's a blessing in this, and we send our love out to them. And to anyone else who is sick and suffering, we offer our prayers and know that God is everywhere present. And now is the time that we think of our abundance and our blessings and our tithes and offerings and prosperity celebrations today. So we take them in our hands, or if we give by Venmo or over mail or however we give, we hold in our hearts the blessing of the tithes and offerings, saying together, Divine love
As me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
we've got everything that we need to be happy. We've got love, we've got laughter, we've got this community. We got the birds in the morning and the sweet blue sky. We got our hearts singing songs, my. We've got everything that we need to be happy. I got nothing, and I don't have myself. And if I'm not grateful for all God's graces, then what good is money? What good is wealth? We got everything that we need to be happy. We've got love, we've got laughter, we've got what's left of these brains inside of here. We've got John on piano and Kristen in our ear. We've got the band and the choir and all of us together loving and holding each other in the highest and seeing God in every face. We've got everything that we need. We've got everything that we need. We've got everything that we need to be happy.
And we are happy. We give with joyful, prosperous hearts, knowing that God is the source of all supply. We bless this offering and affirm that it is multiplied and used to advance the good of this community and the world. We declare an open floodgate of abundance for all. Thank you, God, for our unlimited prosperity. And so it is.
And for our children, you might have been hearing that we're talking about we don't fail. So, you know, there is no such thing as failure. We get to try it again if we choose to, or change things, whatever way you choose to do it. It's all good. Amen, amen.
Amen.
Yeah. So I want to remind us all that there is going to be a Q&A after with Reverend Kristen, but that'll be after we say our after the benediction and the prayer of protection. We'll have a little break, and then we'll come back. Please come right back. So
Just 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yep. And we know that unity on the river goes on and on. Let the river flow. Yeah.
We should have done that song. I got a Beatles song. Will you still need me? No.
Are you 65? We always need you, Glenn. Here we go.
Oh, let the poor ones say I am rich within, and let the lost ones say I am found again. Ooh. let the river flow. Let the blind ones say I can see again, and let the dead ones say I am born again. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Let the poor ones say I am rich within, and let the lost ones say I am found again. Let the river flow. And let the blind ones say I can see again, and let the dead ones say I am born again. And let the river flow. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, Holy Spirit, come and move in power. All right, acapella. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, let the river flow. Oh, Holy Spirit, come and move in power. Let the river flow. Let the river flow. And let the river flow. Let the river flow.
Beautiful energy. Let's join hands and sing our peace song. Let there be peace on earth.
God has created
So, as you go out into your day, remember that you are the love and light of God, and you are the unique expression of the divine in this world, and failure is never an option.
Absolutely.
God bless.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed.
Remember to come back in 10 minutes, 11:30 for Q&A.
Thank you, thank you. The music was just, oh my gosh, I was in tears. Beautiful. Yes. Yeah, I was born in St. Louis. I think my mic's still on. I want to see if I can eat with this on. Do you think I can? Probably not. Can I squeeze by you?
Very nice job.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Can you turn my mic off?
Is there a corner for me?
of the opinion to keep it simple until we have to and stay over here. But be happy to set up the band permanently on the other side. Just to get a better band and be able to see it better and stuff like that, especially if Steve's. Oh, I plugged into the power supply, the power cleaning supply. So I just leave it plugged in and just go with it. Try to simplify a couple of steps. That was the one that stayed the best. Look, yeah. It's all relative.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. At least it wasn't a cuss word. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I gotta get the hair. Okay.
I checked out your website last night, the snout.
Oh, the soul snout.
Is Matters your
My dog, yeah. Yeah, she's that vicious pit bull.
right? We have one too. So
Yeah,
vicious.
I know, right? Yes. I want, like, I don't want to do that as a separate thing. I want to incorporate it into when I become a minister, into the church, like, as a way to raise money, and yeah, that'd be awesome. Yay!
What are your kiddos' names?
Kai and Maya. Yeah, they actually have Hawaiian names, Lana Kai and Myalani, but they go by their shorter names. Yeah. I'm gonna go get him to, fix my mic. No, that's okay.
Like, where would you like bear?
The bear?
I mean, you're really good friends with him.
It's not like that thing.
Huh? Right? He's cozy. I think he's gonna fall. We have
It's Ted.
Ted.
Should talk just like Ted. Something very important today. The Patriots are on one.
You have what?
The Patriots are on
Do you want?
Can't say a word.
Good morning. It's a little low.
I have the whole thing.
Okay, whoops, a little loud there. I'll stack the ballot.
You want the ballot?
I'll stack the ballot. I'll take the rest. Just kidding.
Hi, we're going to get started. We're just going to do a quick Q&A, like we have the process with all the minister candidates so far. Just a couple little ground rules today. We want to keep it concise but practical, and that everybody comes away with the questions they need to ask. If, again, we can reiterate what we said earlier today, that we're going to try to have questions first, and at the end, if people have comments, then you can make comments. Okay? We've already introduced Reverend Dr. already, so let's begin. Okay? So why don't you come on up?
All right. I am ready.
And who has the first question? Wow, okay.
We got a brave.
I'll go with the first question.
Well, we have one person ahead of you.
Thank you. Reverend Doctor, if you're offered this position and you agree to take it, it's going to necessitate a big move for you and your middle school children.
Correct.
So can you share with us your thoughts about this move, how you're feeling about that, and have you discussed this with your kids?
I have absolutely discussed this with my kids. Before I even knew about this job, when I knew I was becoming a minister, I knew that that was gonna involve a move because we already had a minister at the Unity in my town. So they knew that it was inevitable. They weren't exactly sure where it was. So as this kind of came to fruition, I told them about it. And of course, as kids are, they don't want to leave their friends. But I think that it would be an excellent decision based on just access, the educational opportunities here and all the opportunities for outdoor things. So the things they like to do at home are also here. So I think once they get over the kind of shock of moving, I think they can get settled in once they find a new soccer team or a new dance club or whatever it is. And how would I be about moving? Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready. I don't want to say anything negative, but I've lived in Missouri for a very long time, and I have done a lot of lobbying for many issues. Specifically, one of them is the death penalty, and I would be really proud to live in a state that does not do that to their citizens, because we just did it last month. I mean, it's a constant thing. I've worked as a spiritual advisor with some people on death row, and it's inhumane. I want to come here to a place where I can advocate for some higher level issues, perhaps food insecurity, or I don't know, whatever needs to be done. I would have to look into that. As a sociologist, would be kind of, I'm a woman of action. I like to be out doing things. You know, I'll be in the prisons, I'll be in the urban life center. I like to be out in the world.
We consider the teachings of the Fillmores to be very fundamental and applicable to daily life as much now as it was then. And you also mentioned Emily Cady during your talk today, I'm sure. So would you care to elaborate how you feel about that subject?
Well, I am 100% into New Thought Christianity. It changed my life, and that's why I'm very passionate about it, because I'm not trying to change you, but I'm trying to give you some ideas of things that you can try in your life. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. I honestly think the Fillmores, they were just early metaphysicians. They knew all this stuff before everybody else, you know, and it's amazing that it took so long for others to catch on, but I think they were just so much ahead of their time. Butterworth, Cady, all of those early writers. For me, I am an academic, I am a teacher. Even if I'm a minister, I'm still going to be a teacher. I see that as my joy and my love. I'll teach a congregation instead of a classroom. So I always use those sources. I will always cite my sources. Don't you worry about that, you know. So I love to go back to those original New Thought authors. That's the classics.
Thank you. I'd like to follow up on your comments you just made about social justice issues and your introduction as someone who's been involved in social justice. Most Unity churches aren't known for our social justice engagement, particularly at the root causes and systemic change. But I would love to see us move in that direction. How would you work with us as a church in terms of engaging in social justice in our communities here? Do you have ideas about doing that?
Absolutely. I want to be in a place that wants to do that. I'm so glad that you said that. That makes my heart so happy. Because I'm not at the part, I used to be the person protesting on the street. And if the people that I had lunch with yesterday know that I saw the people protesting on the street and went up and talked to them and said, yay, you, keep going. But I had to hurry and get to lunch. But nonetheless, for me now, what I like to do is I like to go to the state capitol. All the representatives and senators, they all know me. They see me coming. I bring the students in buses. and I train them how to advocate for these issues. Because standing on the street is a great way to create awareness, but if we want to create real change, we need to do that at the policy level. So that's what I want to do, is I want to take a big group and, make that a continual. I've actually talked to the people at Unity headquarters because I do a lot of testifying, like on the Senate floor, for example, and I'll be sitting there, I'm next to the Archdiocese of the Roman Church, I've got the Methodist deacon, and there's nobody from New Thought. I'm the only one. It blows my mind that we're at 5. Principle number 5 is we're doing something, but why aren't we actually doing it where it matters? So 100%, that is my agenda.
To that end, we have been a congregation for a while, and a lot of us have kind of aged. I know I don't have the energy that I used to have, and so we used to work at the food pantry, and now this would be a really vital thing. But I don't know how many people have the energy to do that. My question is, how will you attract a younger demographic to grow our church?
So I think the way to attract more people to the church, regardless of the demographic, is to be out in the community. You need to be out, you need to be visible, you need to have matching shirts, you need to be laughing and having a good time. And people are going to say, I want to be a part of that. And if we can make it intergenerational, I'm bringing my kids, I've got Christian bringing his, we got some kids coming in, and then when the kids see the other kids, One thing I did in Colombia that was so fun, it was one of my favorite things, is like when I was a kid, I used to go to Sunday school, or vacation Bible school, over the summer. But we don't, do that in Unity. So I decided that we were going to have Peace Camp. And it was so cool because all these people that signed up, we opened it up to the community, and none of the kids were from Unity that came. And we had to stop signing people up because we had too many kids and not enough help with all of this stuff. And it's really cool because if you go to the Peace Corps, you just got to know where to find these resources. They have so many resources on educating children about peace in your community and beyond. So it's all about finding those resources and connecting it with the right people,
So lovely to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
As a newer minister, having just been ordained, what would you see as some of the top skills that you need to focus on in terms of skill development in the ministerial path?
Yeah, good question. So as a new minister, I've taken all these classes and I've learned all these concepts, but I haven't really had a chance to apply them. So I know how to read a church budget sheet and I know how to do all these things, but we did practice ones, but that just, so for me, I've got the skills, I'm just ready to apply them, you know what I mean? And hopefully learn from some of you. Because that's one of the things that's really important to me is I want to be with a congregation that's going to spiritually feed me too. That's what I personally need. And if I'm not getting that, then it's not the right fit, right? It needs to be going both directions because there's a lot of ordained ministers in here, my goodness, that's a blessing. But even those that are not, you still have something to teach, right? We all have something to teach and something to learn, right? So just that community building, and that's where we're going to learn these things is by doing these things together, whether it's going on a group hike or attending a peace camp or starting an animal chaplaincy where we do animal blessings and whatever. I mean, it's infinite possibilities. That's the reason I selected this church that drew me specifically is because you did not have a church building. That was important to me because the options, you weren't locked into anything. We can do whatever we want now. You know what I mean? You don't have to try to sell this old building. You've already done all that, right? I mean, I'm not saying we can't buy another one, but I'm just saying I don't have to go somewhere and worry about a leaky roof and all these other minor things. I can jump right in and start going deep with the spiritual stuff. You know, I don't have to worry about building maintenance, because that takes a lot out of a minister, you know? You got to learn how to plunge the toilets and all these. That's what my minister told me. She said, you're going to learn to be a plumber, a construction worker, a roofer, oh no. I'm going to need some help with that, so I'm just putting that out there.
Good morning, Kristen. I wonder whether you answered Jackie's question. I was mouthing to her. Did she?
What?
And how would you encourage people to be on the ministerial track? That I heard that as part of the question, but if not, I'm curious.
Okay, two questions. Start with the ministerial track. I would love to encourage people to be on the ministerial track, the LUT. There's also the spiritual direction path. There's so many different things you can do right now at Unity. And one of the great things is I know a bunch of resources for scholarships. So if you came to me, I could help you find a way to make that work where you probably wouldn't have to pay. I got about half of my ministerial education paid for through like the Unity South Central Region scholarships. They had scholarships at the urban school. They have scholarships at the headquarters. So it's just about knowing where to find those. So I would encourage people by offering classes. And then those classes, so since I'm an ordained minister, I can teach classes for credit. So that means that you can take it for credit to become a minister or whatever you want to end up being. Or you can just take it for fun, right? So I would encourage people to take those classes, and then that's what happened to me, is I just started taking classes, and I was like, this is great. I just want to keep taking these classes, you know what I mean? And it just sucked me right in. So I would definitely do that by offering classes and the classes that you want to learn. I'm all about audience analysis. You know, I'm not going to say, well, we need to do this, this, and this. I'm going to ask you, what do you want to learn? If you don't care about metaphysics, I'm not going to teach a class on metaphysics, right? So it's all about giving you what you need as a congregation, as a group. So then to go back to the other question about the specific skills, I think probably the skill, because I was also on the board of my church back at home, so I have a lot of experience doing that, seeing that side as well. And I will probably say just the general accounting is probably going to be my weakness. I mean, I'm good with my own accounting. I'm quite prosperous, but all the balance sheets and all of this, I mean, it's quite simple since you don't have a building. But once you have one and once you have all these things, there's going to be so much to keep track of. And I think that is where I'm going to need a little help, is to kind of keep it all together. Does that help? Did that answer it? Okay. Okay.
Greetings again. You know, I really appreciate your experience with being active in the community, and that is something I don't think we've been very strong in. One aspect that we have been strong in is, I think, more the contemplative side of spirituality, and I'm wondering what your experience is with Eastern religion. A lot of people in this congregation have studied from, you know, Hindu teachers or Buddhist teachers, so there's a lot of that interwoven in the things that we read together and our music, as you've probably noticed. Mm-hmm. So just wondering what your experience is in that range.
So Unity is my full experience. All of the other things I've sought out. The Unity at Unity of Columbia, we actually share our space with a Buddhist temple. So I attend both. So I get to go there, and I go to all their meditations, and they just have a fabulous thing going on there as well. So I kind of jumped into that. But really, I will say that that is probably a place where I lack, and I think that would be a place where you guys could teach me some of that stuff, right? Because I have not done the Course in Miracles. I'll be straight honest with you about that, and some of those other kind of things. But I'm very interested to learn about that because I'm all paths up the mountain. We're all doing the same thing. I mean, that's what it's all about. Did that answer? Okay.
Hi, Kristen, and it is a delight to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit out of the loop with Worldwide Ministries, and did you say that you graduated from the urban school?
That's correct.
Okay, so why would that have happened? Is that where you were living, or how did that all work?
So there's two ways you can become a minister right now. You can either do it through Unity Worldwide Ministries, or you can do it through the Unity Urban School. The Unity Urban School is known for social justice.
Right.
So they teach you classes in social justice and how to lead a church in social justice. So it was no question to me where I was going to school.
Absolutely, beautiful. That's great, thank you.
And it was all online because they're centered in Detroit and Unity is in Kansas City. So they're in two separate locales, but it's all online, both of the schools.
Good to know, thank you.
Hi, I'm so glad you're here, and I so enjoyed your talk this morning. Anytime you get more than 3 people together, there's the potential for conflict. So my question is, given that the kind of normal is harmony, rupture, repair, what is your experience with helping people in the congregation resolve conflict with each other?
That is such a great question. I actually love conflict. I embrace conflict because you know what? That means people care. That means they care about something. If there was no conflict, then I'd be worried. That would mean you're just coming here, showing up, and just leaving and not really giving a concern, right? So I think that conflict, when it comes up, it needs to be immediately addressed. And I think as a minister, or really as anyone, you need to look beyond the words and look at the feelings that are coming from someone, because most of the time people are not saying what's actually they're feeling in their heart. So I've taken some conflict resolution classes, especially in communication. I took a class in crisis communication, which is really kind of cool. I like I've never had to use it, thank goodness, but yeah, so just kind of bringing it all together. Did that? Yeah.
Just so you know, Christian, in 30 years, we've never had conflict in this church.
Oh.
I believe that was a joke. So, Kristen, you've had a few days now to observe and experience Unity on the River. Can you share with us your impressions of what your takeaways are from spending time with us?
Absolutely. It has been a wonderful experience. Everybody has been a joy to be with. I feel as though people have gone out of their way to make me feel welcome, and I really, really appreciate that from the people that have done that, Brad and everybody. So I really just kind of felt like part of the group. You know what I mean? I just felt like y'all welcomed me with open arms. It just felt really, really good. It's good vibes here.
Again, Kristen, it's really a delightful experience to be with you. I'm so glad you're here with us. And I didn't ask you this at the staff meeting, but you know, as the music director here and having music such a profound piece of who we are and the face of unity as people walk in, or the spirit of unity, I think is largely in our music. It's a big, huge part. And you know, I'd like to see us expand our music program and have it grow and have a different, have more budget added to it, of course. So I want to know your feelings about that and what you view, where music stands in your view of the spirit of this church.
Yeah, music is instrumental. There'll be right? No, but seriously, it really is. There will be people that never listen, like take a word from what I have to say, but they will take something away from the music. You know what I mean? When people come here, they need an experience. It needs to be like a package, a package nicely wrapped up. So the music should match, the message, and I love the way that we coordinated that. And I would love to see you to kind of expand that program. Ways just kind of off the top of my head, like things like, I know you're not supposed to talk about things you're not good at, but I'm just gonna do it. Sorry. I'm not a good singer. I'm not comfortable with the way that I sing. So opportunities like maybe you have a bell choir where people ring bells and you teach them. At my church, we have a bell choir and all these people stand there and they ring bells. And that's a thing they do for the holidays or whatever. So maybe getting ways, we do drum circles. Do you guys do drumming circles? Oh my gosh, love getting involved in a drum circle. Yeah, other things like that. So expanding the music beyond just the music at the service. Having music Wednesdays where we all just jam out or, whatever, There's so many different opportunities. Because I know some of us play the ukulele in here.
You're not a failure, so can you sing a Whitney Houston song?
Hi. I just checked, and there were about close to 90 people who were watching online. So we have a big online community. And I live kind of far away, so sometimes that's how I participate. I'm wondering what we can do to help them feel like they're part of our community. And some people cannot get here for whatever reason. There's a wide range. I was so glad, because there wasn't a huge attendance here today, but it was really great to see so many people online. And if you look back, Jackie always gets about 120 or something. So how would you maybe help engage them to feel like they are part of our community?
Yeah, I think the morning I, said hi and we all waved. I think that's a good way, as a good start. But that is a really difficult challenge because I have in the past had to teach both in person and online at the same time and meet both of the students' needs, wherever they were. So that is a very challenging thing, yes. But I would kind of be interested to find out, are there people who are just, perhaps they're in a care facility, so they're always going to be watching online? If we found out a list of those specific people, we could send them stuff that would relate with the service so they could feel like they were a part of it. So when I'm talking about something, they could physically have it in their hands. One of the things I would like to expand to is elderly. I like going into elderly care centers, holding spirit groups there. I like to do hospital visits. I'm very much into prayer and visiting one-on-one and helping listen and be a presence for anyone who needs it. That's kind of what I view my job as.
Hi again, Kristen. Thank you for the message today. I want to say what I found wonderful was the educational piece and also life experience, and also you're very authentic. So thank you. Couple of things. One of them, well, let me say the first one first, the second question first. Your vision, what you would love to see in your church, in a church, that vision.
What do I want to see?
What do you, if you vision, what do you see? What do you, the feel, what do you see?
I want you to replicate Unity Village here on the East Coast. That's my vision that I got last night.
And any specific, for people who haven't been there, what would maybe 3 things be?
It's a peaceful, centered place where there is ample nature, places for meditation, kind of just a property where, with obviously some kind of buildings where you could have different things going on. Maybe you Airbnb it out during the week to make money. I mean, it's very difficult right now. Most churches are failing, and it's because of their buildings. So that's, again, why I was kind of happy that you guys didn't have one, because I didn't want to have to think about the leaky roof. So in thinking about where you're going to relocate, think beyond just churchy-like buildings. Maybe you want an animal sanctuary. Maybe you want a place down on the river. You know, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of whatever the spirit is. I know somebody told me that you used to have a location that was right on the river and people would bring their kayaks to the service. Is this true? And then, I mean, that is so cool. Yeah, like stuff like that, like different. Because that's how you're going to make the church successful. If you try to do church the old school way, it's not going to be successful. Because what I'm also about is I don't want to suck all the money out of the congregation, right? I know I want you to give, I want you to have your prosperity, but the real key is to seek outside funding sources. And that's what I'm good at. I'm good at writing grants. I'm good at looking at opportunities for those sorts of things. So,
thank you. That was, and the second question is, as far as counseling.
Yes.
What kind of experience you have, and would you reach out to those people who have that kind of experience in the congregation for that? Because I think counseling is very important now, especially in this time.
So as a Unity minister, the only counseling that I am allowed to do, since I do not have a counseling background whatsoever, is I am allowed to do spiritual counseling, which is something that occurs in about 4 to 6 visits of about 45 minutes each, and it's to help work through some specific issue. So there's an end in sight. It's not like a counseling where we're always going to keep on going. It's a very specific, let's work on something in your spiritual life that you need help with, and then move on. So, yes. And it's funny because as a college professor, I actually do a lot of counseling. You wouldn't expect that. My students, they'll come in my office, and when they come in and they shut the door, oh no, that's when I know it's going to be a tricky one. You know what I mean? They're like, can I shut the door? I'm like, oh no, what now? You know, it's like, oh, my boyfriend, da-da-da. It's like, okay. So yes, I've been trained, I've taken a few classes in it, but spiritual counseling is definitely different from psychological counseling. Did that answer?
So you're going from being a college professor to being a minister. I was a college professor, my father was a minister, and I can attest that those are the two of the most kind of energy-sucking, soul-challenging things that you can possibly do. It caused, growing up, it was a big challenge for my parents. You know? Like the phone calls, my mom ripping the phone out of the wall because it rang so often. And I'm just wondering, how do you protect yourself? How do you thrive under these kind of conditions? And what kind of supports would you need from the congregation? What kind of mentoring do you receive that'll help you be successful, really, is the question I have.
Yeah, great question. Self-care is so important. For me, self-care is nature, and it's outside, and it's anything out there with just communing with God. I'm a paddler, I'm a hiker, I'm a backpacker, I like to ride my bike. I do all those things. So that's how I kind of just step away from the situation and just kind of take my mind off what's going on. there. So what I would need from the congregation is I would ask that in my contract that I would have a sabbatical, because right now I'm on sabbatical as a professor, and that has allowed me to have time to, I think I had compassion fatigue after I did some work in the prison, because it's really hard every day watching people beat the you-know-what out of each other. I mean, it's very hard to watch that and not be able to intervene. So I got burned out. So the sabbatical has actually been quite a blessing, and I chose to go walk the trail because that was how I was gonna, heal myself from this kind of fatigue that I'd experienced. But, it's okay. I've been walking around other places. I didn't have to be the trail, it turns out. So, I would expect that there would be a sabbatical or something in the contract that would allow me time to renew myself so that I could give you my all, because I am a very high energy person, but I do need time to recharge. You know what I mean? I can't go, 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 go. That's what happened on the trail. You saw the picture. You don't want me to look like that. Did that answer your questions? Okay.
Could you speak some to the animal ministry? We, upon occasion, had animal blessings, but so many of us are tied and allied with our animals. No children, just animals. And it seems to me it would be a really fertile ground to get other people involved. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts about how you would do that.
Absolutely. So I have a website. I did all this through the Compassion Consortium, which is out of New York. I absolutely love them. It's a great organization, and that's who ordained me. And part of it, we had to do a capstone project. So if you go to the website Soul Snout, I don't care, did you hear me? soulsnout.com. That's my website, and you can read all about the different things about animal chaplaincy. So, but what I would like to do is I don't want my Soul Snout business, whatever it is, to be a separate thing. I want to integrate that into the church. So now we are offering services not just to members, but to people outside the community. One of the biggest things is spiritual counseling, grief when people lose pets. I am very good at helping people make altars, memorials, writing prayers, writing affirmations. I have a whole toolkit to help people with grief when they lose their pets. I also can help people with any interspecies challenge they may have. So if you want to live in a house where you don't ever use pesticides, I can help you with that. If you would like to live a vegan lifestyle, I can help you with that. If you just want to take one step towards living in a life where animals aren't harmed, we can go in that direction. So I don't know if there's other animal chaplains in the area, but everybody does the blessing. When St. Francis that day, was that usually around October? I think that was last month, October 4th, I believe. Where's those good Catholics? You don't remember? St. Francis of Assisi is the one that does all the animals. So it's really about bringing the animals and the humans, because the connection between the two, because there's such a strong tie. We are all spiritual beings. I don't think they're any different from me. I love my dog. It's going to be hard when that time comes, A lot of people have a tough time grieving the loss of their pets. So that's something that I started a guinea pig hospice a couple weeks ago. I know this sounds silly, but the Humane Society called me, and they found a ring of illegal guinea pig breeders. They were breeding them to fight. I know. So they took away all these guinea pigs, but they didn't have anywhere to go with the guinea pigs that were already in the society. So they asked me because these guinea pigs they're geriatric, they're like 5, and guinea pigs only live to like 5. So nobody's going to adopt them, right?
So I said, give me the guinea pigs. So I got the guinea pigs, and I got them in this really cool cage. And I just think they're the coolest thing. I've never had them before. They talk and make all these sounds. But listen to this. This is the coolest thing. I meditate with guinea pigs. And guess what? So if you've heard of the heart math thing, you know what I'm talking about? I bought that little device where you attach it to your ear and to your thing, and it tells you your frequency of your meditation. And when I get to a certain level, they start to sing. So I thought, these are some special guinea pigs. So I went and I got 2 more. And guess what? They do it too. I don't know how. It's like so amazing. It's energy that they can feel. I mean, I just literally just sit next to their cage. I'm not even touching them. I mean, it's just, animals are just so deeply connected with, we're animals, you know? So, I mean, that's going to be a big part of what I would like to do.
Well, I have a suggestion for Meg. If you could import some guinea pigs to the choir and have them sing along.
I can bring mine.
Yes,
they're still around.
I'd like to go back to Michelle's question about the online viewers.
Okay.
And those that may be confined to various facilities. At one time in the past, there's a congregant who is an ordained minister, and she, along with me, trains some volunteers to visit the people at home, people in various facilities, and so forth. It wasn't very successful. It petered out, and it's no longer in operation. So, I don't know whether this is really a question, but it is a concern that it requires a lot of energy, education, and people, congregants, to commit, whether it's part-time, it can vary. It's like the chaplain program, praying and so forth. You sign up for the weeks that you want. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. If you have comments about that, that's fine.
No, that's a great point, because I'm only one person and I can only do so much. So if I do come here, I don't want to be an island. I don't want to stand alone. I want you to walk with me, right? I want to get that going again, because those people need visits, right? And I can't possibly see every single one of them. So like back home at my church, we have the training through the prayer chaplains, and then those do the outreach. So I mean, there's different ways you can kind of house it within the church or whatever, but I think outreach is so very important, especially with aging congregations, because we don't want to leave anybody behind, right? My vision is an intergenerational church where we've got babies, we've got older adults, and everything in between.
Hi, are you interested in doing astrology, destiny cards for self-help classes in here?
I like astrology and stuff like that, and I think that's definitely fun. But I don't know if it's necessarily unity under the unity umbrella. So I don't know if that would be something I think that would be more of a question for the board of directors, because let me give you an example. At my church, they will not let the people teach A Course in Miracles there because it's not unity. They make them teach it at a different church. So our congregants go somewhere else to learn that. So I think that decision kind of was at the board level, is what, it would be allowed.
Any more questions?
So you mentioned that you want a sabbatical, but how do you practice self-care in your day-to-day life? Like, how do you start your day and how do you end your day?
Great question. So I start and end my day with prayer every day.
before I even step my feet on the ground. I am praying that I'm grateful that I woke up, and I'm praying that I'm affirming that the day is going to be great. Then I do a good morning habitat, which is one of the things I learned as an animal chaplain, where I go outside and I stand around and I say good morning to my habitat, and I look around and I see what's there that day. Is it a bird? What is it? Guess what I saw today? I was in this Airbnb, and as I was doing my good morning habitat, towards the end I didn't sleep, but it was around maybe 4, I kept hearing this like scratching, and I thought, oh, I'm on the top floor. And it comes to find out it's a squirrel right outside my window making a nest for the winter. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So I just got to sit there and watch this little guy. He would run and go get something and bring it back. And it was like, that's true presence. You know what I mean? So I start my morning with a good morning habitat. And then I get my day going. I'm a coffee drinker and kind of just get going with the flow. And then obviously at the end of the day, I've got to calm down. I like to release and let go. Again, another meditation. I do my meditation with guinea pigs kind of randomly throughout the day. That's not a scheduled thing. But really just, it's a prayerful morning and evening, and kind of a nice, I do good night moon, look out at the moon every night and say good night. You got one back there.
Hi.
Hi.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Just, as opposed to a question, because you gave so many good answers, I just want to recognize the things that you've said that speak to what I have engaged with the community in conversations, during hospitality and personal visits and social time and things like that. So the fact that you talked about social justice being an important thing to you, and this is a conversation that a lot of us have been hoping for and waiting for, and the peace camp just lit me up, and the animal chaplaincy, conflict resolution, and just how relaxed you were during this question and answer, which was a different experience of you than during the service. I know how unimaginably nerve-wracking it must have been to get ready for us. We have a lot of very mature, experienced, wise, sage people in this community, and that vibration is very present. So I'm sure that could be a little bit intimidating when you have a group of elders that have read the book, ate the cereal, and saw the movie. And so I just want to acknowledge you for all of the beautiful conversations and responses that you brought forward. I feel like my questions have been answered, and for our community too.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
Thank you for your presence with us and your interest in us. It's
Thank
very
you.
much appreciated. My question is, we are in the process of rebirthing our child care program. You talked about you have many ways of doing that out in the community. What would be some ways to engage all ages, from the littles to the teens, especially with the technology and bringing them back to nature, meditation, and God?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways of doing that. I love having intergenerational events. A couple of things that I've planned at my church is we made peace flags. So what we did, and this is for anybody that was 2 to 102, right? Is it doesn't matter if you just scratch something on there. That's what important to you, right? So what we did was we had a donation. Someone in our church cut up all the fabric, and we would give everybody a piece of fabric. They would take it home. We'd give them a couple fabric pens, and they would draw whatever they wanted on the peace flag. And then we had a volunteer who was really good at sewing, and she sewed all of them together, and then we got them hung up. Another thing I did, I'm really into kindness rocks, you know what I mean? So I would love to start, if we had a place, a kindness rock garden, because that's an intergenerational activity. We can all work together and paint these rocks and do these things. I don't like the separation necessarily between the kids and the adults. You know, I want to bring it all together. I mean, there does need to be some separation because I'm going to talk about high-level concepts that they just can't understand. But I think once you get it started, I would envision it being just one classroom, you know, with all the, you know, whatever, 2 to 12. And then once you get more, you can kind of branch it out. But once you start, a friend comes and then you bring another friend, and it's amazing how fast it grows. You just got to get that enthusiasm and really get it started, you know.
I love that, and it empowers the older kids to teach the youngers, and
Yep.
they teach us, honestly. There's so much the kids have to teach us.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
used to volunteer in the Blue Room, we called it, and they said, you want to work with the teenagers? Oh, my gosh. I said, yes, of course I do. I love a challenge, you know? And it was absolutely a joy, though, you know what I mean? It was a challenge to kind of figure out. And you're right, exactly, that's what we did. We ended up having them being the leaders of, you know, the other kids. So it was, everybody had a job to do. You know, you're a mom, so when kids have a job, then everything's going well, you know. You can kind of keep everybody moving along. So, yeah, I like the intergenerational concept.
We have to kind of wrap up. Are there any other like final comments?
Hi, Kristen. Thank you for being here. You're an amazing woman. You have great ideas, and I just wonder how, as you move across the country with your, you know, young children, how you can handle this. What's your plan? Like, are you bringing a support system with you? There's so much involved with kids alone. Never mind all the projects and things that you're involved in.
Right. I'm very close with my parents. They actually live 5 houses down from me. My children have never gone to a daycare. My parents have always helped out. I'm so blessed in that aspect. So when I was speaking with my parents about this job, it shocked me, but they're like, we might consider moving out to that area. And I went, okay.
Okay. Yes. Oh, great. All right, thank you.
But I also want to find a support system here, obviously, too.
First of all, I want to say to the streamers, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat. We'll get that answered. And then to you, for the streamers that are far away, like in another state or another country or another continent, how are you going to incorporate them into our family?
Oh, wow, what a great question. The church I go to, we don't have any, are these people that have attended before and then now they're somewhere else, or people just find you and attend online? Oh, wow. That's really great. I would have to do some research into that to figure out some ways to engage them, but definitely by the acknowledgement, you know, working with the AV and the tech, you know, to give shout outs, because I know I watched online and I saw the chat. People were all, it seemed like people knew each other. They were all saying hi to each other and all of that stuff. So maybe ways that I could work together and we could, you know, oh, we've got Africa in the house today, or, you know, I don't know, whatever. So acknowledgement goes a long way.
Can I go? Oh. Hi, I'm Laurel, and it's wonderful to see you again today. Yesterday was great. I wanted to comment on what Diane said. I agreed with everything that she mentioned. Those are just so exciting to me, and there are probably more, you know, that would be coming to our church community. But I had an idea for the streamers, and I don't know why. I kept saying, you don't have to say it, but I'm going to say it. What I'm thinking is for the streamers, because they can't get here, they can get on Zoom. And I have found Zoom to be absolutely remarkable in bringing people together. I'm taking a class with a wonderful coach back there, Jackie Woodside. She's gone or somewhere. I don't know what happened to her, but we break up into small groups, and it is just so great how quickly we bond. You know, whether it be a small group that meets every week or a group that just meets when we have our gathering of the class. So I just thought that would be a great idea for streamers.
Yeah, to allow them to connect if they would like.
Yeah.
That's how the Compassion Consortium does their service. They do an online service, and then after the service, they break up into small groups every week, and it's fabulous because you never know who you're going to get to be in a group with, and it's always fun.
Yeah.
So that it does work for them. So that is a very feasible idea.
Great. Thank you. Michael? Oh, there you are.
Kristen, I just want to say I've been a student of the Bible since I was in my late teens. And one of the things that was always struck me about a minister, it says that the work of the minister is to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. And I just feel really confident that you're going to equip these saints and that we're going to go out and make a huge difference. So thank you.
That's my goal. Yes, you got it. Thank you.
Yes? Okay. You rock. You rock so much. Yeah, you're awesome. My question is, given that we've been without a lead senior minister for many years, people are pretty excited to get this, show on the road. Do you have a certain time frame that you could get here if all this works out?
So that's kind of a tricky question.
I know.
Because I'm in academia. So at this point in time, they think that I'm returning to teach on January 17th, 5 classes at Central Methodist. So one of the options would be that I could finish out that semester and then come in the summer. Or I've been there 18 years, so I don't really want to leave them in a bad place or whatever. But if they were able to find someone to cover those classes, then it could possibly be sooner. So
okay.
There's kind of some flexibility there. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any more questions? I'd like to, Michael, I'd like for all of us to stand and put our hands forward and bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Holy One, Holy Many, our new sister, Dr. Reverend Kristen Cherry, we see you, we behold the Christ in you, and we know that you are divinely ordained to be exactly here at this moment. We are allowing this light to just shine the pathway in front of you, in front of all of us. If the blending of this master blend of humanity for all of us, and you are part of it, and the leader, and knowing that this is right and perfect, we ask and know that it shall be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
And safe travels going home.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.